And yes, finally we have reached 10,000 subscribers on the Tech Summit channel, and I wouldn't have gotten this far if it hadn't been for all of you guys' support. It overwhelms me with joy at the fact that I actually managed to fulfill this milestone by the end of the year when I was so doubtful at first, and we managed to do it so early into December as well. Even though the Q&A, or this video, I should say, is coming out just a little bit later. But with that said, again, thank you so much. And as a thank you, I would like to do a Q&A here and be able to answer some of your questions here. Let us get right into it, and there's going to be a little surprise at the end, so do make sure to stick around for that. Before we continue, I just wanted to remind you that we have a Twitch channel where we stream every Friday and Saturday from 8 p.m. and to 10 p.m. Eastern time, so why not go ahead and drop a follow? And also don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and also make sure to check out the merch store. There's plenty of black and white sweetness to choose from up there, so go ahead and check that out. And then make sure to take a look at the podcast as well, as a podcast always goes live every Wednesday and Sunday. And with that said, enough rambling, let us get straight into the video. And okay then, so question number one is going to be, what made you want to start a tech channel, and what is your favorite piece of tech to review? So what made me start a tech channel actually was just the fact that I really enjoyed watching tech reviews in general. Like Linus Tech Tips, for instance, was one channel that I would watch a lot. And back when I was looking for laptops to buy, and back when I was trying to learn how to build PCs and things like that, I would always go to Linus Tech Tips. And one day I already had a YouTube channel per se, but it was mostly art based, like back when we were called FN Comic Makers. I just decided, hey, you know what? I think it would be kind of fun to make a review on my laptop. I'm a Razer Blade 14, I don't have the 15. So yeah, at the time I didn't have a camera, so I just used my iPhone SE and the first gen one, and I shot my review that way, and then I recorded the audio using a Razer Siren microphone, and then I went to sleep, and when I got up in the morning, it had around 300 views already, and I think 3 likes and 3 dislikes. It was already a pretty divisive video, it seemed. So that already, like just the fact that my very first video with the channel with only like 10 subscribers at the time actually got that amount of views just overnight was pretty insane to me. It was quite overwhelming. I just thought to myself, I want to do it again. And then I kept doing it again and again and again. And eventually it became something that I really enjoyed doing over the long term. So that's essentially why I ended up doing this, and I haven't looked back since. But to answer that follow-up question of what is my favorite type of tech to review on this channel, it's definitely going to be microphones. I really like doing microphone reviews, and I think that it's just because microphone reviews are so different from reviews involving anything else, because I can apply the same formula to like laptop reviews, and that includes tablet reviews, even smartphone reviews to an extent, but microphone reviews have to be done differently. Like if I'm going to review a microphone, and then what I would do any other type of review, like for example, if I'm going to review a laptop, I'm going to do it very differently than what I'm going to review a microphone. And you will definitely notice a contrast between the two if you have watched a laptop or tablet review and then a microphone review. They're just done very differently. But these I really enjoy working on personally. And next up, what in your opinion is the best microphone under $100? Ooh, that is really going to depend, because I can pick a favorite, as in like my favorite USB microphone under $100 and my favorite XLR microphone under $100. So I would say that my favorite USB microphone under $100 is probably the Fifine K690. I would say it costs literally $999, I think, and sometimes it goes a little bit lower. And for my favorite XLR microphone, I think that is actually going to fall under the Rode PodMic for a microphone under $100, since it's also quite literally $99.99. So yeah, there's that. And why is the iPad always the #1 choice when people buy tablets? My educated guess, I want to say for that, is that Android tablets don't really have that same kind of ecosystem that iPads do. And by ecosystem, I don't really mean how well they work if you have an iPhone or if you have AirPods or anything like that. What I mean is more so just that they have better apps, in my opinion. They just have more fleshed out apps that people are honestly willing to pay for if it means that they can actually get work done on a much lighter device. If those apps were available on Android, then that would be fantastic, and it would make me love Android tablets more. But because they're losing out when it comes to a lot apps that might be as powerful as LumaFusion, or apps that might be as powerful as Forger for 3D modeling and things like that. Like, these are things that could really help Android tablets in general, but they just don't really have that on the Play Store. So it just becomes harder to justify as a purchase, for me at least. And I have spoken to a lot of other people that do happen to feel the same way. So I would think that that's why. And I'm sure that the fact that Apple being Apple, you know, it being a luxury brand to some people, does play a role into that. So yeah, I think that's my educated guess. Which USB microphone do you consider to be the best? I would say that the best USB microphone has got to be the Samsung G-Trek Pro. I actually reviewed it on the channel pretty recently, and I have to say that that microphone is way too cheap for 130 bucks. It should cost a lot more, or you would expect it to cost a lot more. I mean, it's built like an absolute tank. It sounds fantastic. The monitoring experience is great. It's got so many ports and knobs. Like, this microphone is meant to be used for so many different things, and it does it all so well. Samsung G-Trek Pro would probably be my #1 option there for USB microphones, and it's only 130 bucks. Please go ahead and check out that review, because it is a really great microphone. And this next one, I love this next one. This is, how are you doing? And I want to say, I'm doing great, thank you. Well, if I'm going to be more specific or more exact, I am quite tired. I'm definitely exhausted, but usually in a fairly decent mood. As in, I definitely work a lot. I do work from Monday to Saturday, and sometimes I work into Sunday, or I run my actual errands on Sunday, so I hardly ever catch a break, which is why when I finally take a vacation once a year for just a few days, it feels so incredible to do so. And I even go to such lengths to take a vacation that for me to really feel like I'm taking a vacation, I have to leave New York. Because if I stay here, I'm going to feel like I need to work. And that's just, I guess, kind of a syndrome that comes with just living in New York City in general. I guess that's just what comes with it. Who is your inspiration for starting this channel? I would say that my inspirations are probably two different channels, two different YouTubers. #1, I would say, would be Linus Tech Tips, in particular when it comes to the technical side and just how critical he is of technology. That kind of inspiration comes from that, but also like the more chill vibes that I try to bring onto my videos come from Dave 2D, and I think that a combination of both really goes a long way. And that's not to say that Dave 2D isn't critical when it comes to tech. It's just that Linus, at the very least from what I remember, he certainly used to hammer pretty hard, and I do try to be more critical, like not find faults when there aren't necessarily any, and not necessarily nitpick if I don't have to, but what I mean is that to be more honest with myself and allow myself to actually criticize things if I do believe that they deserve criticizing, rather than staying quiet about them because of any kind of judgment that might come my way, or because a company might not want to work with me again. At least I'm at that stage where that is perfectly acceptable for me. But yeah, I would say that my two inspirations were Linus Tech Tips and Dave 2D. And this next one is actually pretty hilarious. What do you have to say to all of those people who doubted you? And why do you keep so many tabs open? Now, allow me to start with the first one. So what I would say to people who have doubted me, I hope that I changed your mind this time around and that this is now something more respected by you. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really hold any kind of hostility or ill feelings towards those people, because it is just what it is. You know, if I end up succeeding and moving forward and growing even more, that's just better for me. And that's really all that matters at the end of the day. But to answer that second question, it's because I do a lot of things at the same time, and sometimes I leave things open thinking, okay, I'm going to go back to that later, and then I just end up leaving that tab open and opening another one, and it just becomes an entire cluster of, well, just a giant mess of tabs, and I feel bad closing them. I'm kind of like a hoarder of Google tabs. What are your thoughts on Microsoft acquiring Zenith, meaning that all Bethesda games are owned by Microsoft? What do you think it means for Xbox exclusives? Well, I have heard actually that, I mean, pretty much every Xbox exclusive is still going to be on PC, and that includes the Elder Scrolls series. So even if they don't come to PlayStation 5 per se, if they should still be coming to PC. And I think that this was probably a move that was probably the smart thing for Microsoft to do at the end of the day. And I'm fortunate enough that I can say, okay, I don't really need an Xbox if I want to play my Elder Scrolls games because I have a PC. So I can just play the next Elder Scrolls there instead, and it's not really that big of a deal. But for those that don't really have that option, I can see that affecting them, and that really does suck. And that's essentially everything for today. Now, thank you so much for submitting all of your questions. I had a pretty good time reading through them and answering them, and I hope to be able to do more Q&As like this in the future as well, because I do find them to be quite a bit of fun. The first time I did one was at 5,000 subscribers, so now that we're at 10K, I think that it is about time. Now, I don't know what milestone I'm going to set for myself for the next one, but I suppose I'll just decide that later. But anyway, thank you so much for all of this. And now on to the special stuff. I actually want to host a giveaway for the Razer Siren Mini because I believe it to be a pretty fantastic microphone, and it is an affordable one that I can afford to actually give away. And I wanted to open up a giveaway for those that actually stuck around until the end of the video, so hopefully you did. And if that's the case, the link to that giveaway is going to be down in the description. I'm only giving away one, and it is limited to US only. This is not going to be international. So do keep that into consideration. Only participate if you have a US address, because that's where I'm going to be sending it to. Because after I randomly choose a winner, I'm going to be contacting you directly. And with that said, also don't forget that with the more entries, the higher your chances of winning are. Best of luck to you all. And with that said, do make sure to stop by at the Tech Summit podcast, which is something that we actually started pretty recently. We always talk about tech. Do make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss that, especially if you're new. Hopefully you'll like that. And also do make sure to follow me on Twitch for the super chill live streams of all time. And also make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, as you know, those are kind of obligatory too. But with that said, this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for your support, and I will be seeing you all later. Enjoy.